Vikram Gandhi went to Camden, New Jersey, where the police are using cutting-edge surveillance technology to monitor the streets. This is his debrief.
The Camden Police Department is paid for by a combination of the state and the city. The annual budget is $62 million. Most of that comes from the city itself, and the rest is supplemented by the state. The surveillance cameras can also help crack down on police corruption. Because the cameras are on all these corners, you can actually see how the police are interacting with people who are out on the street. That being said, the monitoring devices and the screens that are being watched are all only operated within the police department in that monitoring system. So there's no one from the outside who has access to it. And because of that, the police are really the only ones who can monitor police behavior. The plans and technology are set right now for other parties to actually monitor what the police are doing, but nothing has ever been enacted. Civil liberties groups have objected to surveillance cameras in multiple cities. In New York City, there was a surveillance program that was monitoring Muslim neighborhoods and Muslim communities. Outside of mosques, there were often surveillance cameras looking at who was going in to worship in those places. And there was a big uproar and backlash against that, and that program has recently been shut down. Other than that, you've also seen people complaining about surveillance programs in Oakland, and there was a drone program in Seattle that was recently shut down because of public complaint over the surveillance. So the methods that are being used in Camden are not particular to Camden. They're being used all over the United States. ShotSpotter, they say, is being used in over 70 cities across the United States, and surveillance cameras in many other cities. So you can see surveillance in Boston, you can see surveillance in Philly, you can see surveillance in New York City. In Chicago, you can find the most surveillance cameras. The police have said 1,500 cameras are being linked to monitoring systems around the city. There's also reports that up to 15,000 cameras that are not just police, but also public cameras can all be linked to one system, and they can be monitored by a police department. There's a whole new generation of technology and innovation when it comes to surveillance and monitoring. Part of it is linking technology that's already out there. So using cameras and surveillance in one city, tracking it with GPS, and connecting it with another city. Beyond that, there are things like facial recognition software that's now being combined with surveillance cameras. Probably the most interesting thing I've heard about is the linking of X-ray and infrared monitoring with surveillance cameras so that these cameras can actually do something known as a virtual stop and frisk. It looks like we're going down the road of more and more surveillance in all of these cities.